Excuse me? Okay. Okay, there we go. Something wasn't working earlier. Um, yeah, okay. All right. So I got halfway, not halfway. I got all the way through this, which was part of the sponsored content for today, before I realized the stream wasn't working. I usually I have my laptop to my side as I'm working on my desktop, and I usually look to the side to make sure that everything's working on the stream before I get into the whole topic of the day. But I appear to have forgotten today, and so I got really deep into I got really deep into discussing pretentious art and how it's pretentious not because we're pretentious as people, but because art has become commoditized. Um, and and I did a whole bunch of samples over here. It took me like 10 minutes, and then I looked down and I looked at my laptop and realized I wasn't streaming properly. So I'm sorry, my dear sponsor. I will redo this particular part either tomorrow or more likely on the 28th, which is the Thursday. Yeah, 2 days from now on Thursday. Um, and I hope to make it up to you by then. Okay. So, in summary for this piece, pretentiousness is not a problem if the point isn't to wallow in praise. The point isn't to wallow in praise if the point is merely to have to show others, not others, to give the viewer a gentle reminder of life and give them the sense of that's nice. Then pretension and cliche and all of that in my book is a-okay. That is the summary. Anyway, so for today we will move on to squirrels. And yes, you guys, I don't think I've actually shared it with you guys. And these are the what do I call you? I know dudes on Discord that also oops, that tend to watch this stream and like drink themselves stupid at the same time. Um, yeah, no, I didn't want to share it with you guys because you guys don't appreciate this kind of stuff, right? This is genuinely beautiful art, and I don't know, you guys dislike me too much to actually take it seriously. Anyway, so to the topic at hand, we're doing score. So the conceit behind this entire project is that in what do we call these, in the bright and optimistic days of post-Brexit London, while the giants are going about their day trying to rescue their country from obscurity and defeat. Not that I'm biased. I did live in London for quite a while, so I have every right to be biased. You shut up. um, so amongst the lives of the giants, there is a ongoing hidden squirrel civil war. So we have in blue the technocracy, which is comprised of a group of squirrels that believe in both meritocracy, but also sort of in the independent spirit. And so and in red we have the collective, which are either the anarchist collective if you're their enemies, or the revolutionary collective if you are part of the collective. And the collective is much more a a ensemble of, shall we call them, no, I'm not going to call them communist squirrels. Shut up. They're certainly more collective, and they believe that the individual should serve society before they can serve themselves. Whereas, in the technocracy, it's much more about the value of the individual, and then in the collective, it's the value of society as a whole. So, it's like Communist Manifesto versus Ayn Rand, I guess, if you want to put it that way. Yeah, you can think of it. You can think of it that way. Yeah, fine, whatever. And so the conceit behind it is, they're having a civil war. The technocracy. This is, we're already on day 12. The technocracy controls most of the southern bank of the Thames, and they on the first day of September they made an initial rush across the Cannon Street metal bridge and broke through the collective lines. And now this is what happened. This is the result of 12 days of hard fighting. And we join the story in medias res on day 12, where essentially, excuse me, the lines have solidified after some hard fighting, and now both sides are looking for avenues to get the line moving again, right? Because trench warfare is good for no one. It wastes material and manpower on both sides. So on the collective side, and I'm sorry, I am burping more than I usually am. On the collective side, we have the 53rd Corps being deployed properly now. Let me just double check my notes. I do believe that the 53rd Corps also, yes, includes the 10th Division for good reason. And so the 53rd Corps is now in position, with the 11th Division having sort of slotted itself neatly into line here, and are ready to essentially attack what they believe is the weak point in the technocratic lines. And so both divisions, the first Guards division, and actually we'll move the first Guards here a little bit, just to show that the main thrust of the attack is in this direction. And so the 5th Division, which was originally facing more towards the west, is now, has some serious shit that's about to go down. And so, the 4th, that we should probably have, yes, we'll have some spoiling attacks coming from the 8th and the 10th in this direction. So and then over here, actually the 3rd has a very interesting, the 3rd has a very interesting story. It was part of it was originally a line division that was part of the very initial conflict, but then it almost got surrounded, or it did get surrounded and suffered in a pocket for a while before it got kind of rescued by the 2nd Guards and 53rd, who actually started their attack in the southwest. But then the 2nd and the 53rd almost got surrounded themselves, so they broke out towards the northwest. Sorry, south. They started in southeast. There we go. So, these divisions have been through a lot. And let's see, the 3rd, and also, yes, size. Yes, size does matter. No, size doesn't matter for you. You're right. Because nobody wants to go there anyway. Anyway, that's sorry, crew jokes. And so the 51st division is 51st Corps actually is doing this. I should start putting in division lines actually, not division lines, Corps lines. So maybe we'll do this, and then instead of 3-3 we do 5-5. How does that look? Maybe we'll do it at 5. Yeah, that looks better. And we'll do that. And then of course we'll add this over here. Yeah. There we go. So these divisions, yeah, we're good. So the 12th starts with a massive attack from the northwestern side by the 53rd Division, whereas in the north there are these spoiling attacks, or not even spoiling attacks, because the 5th Guard is actually also trying to help relieve the squirrels, and that's actually the, oh, what is that tower called? The one that looks like a giant the one that looks like a giant pleasure aid. No, I can't remember for the life of me. I shouldn't have had all that whiskey with you guys earlier. Yes, it is your fault. Anyway, so the 5th Guard Division is trying to do this. The 21st Division is, so just because there are no division markers here doesn't mean there's no squirrels there, obviously. So the 21st is spreading itself out here, and then the 9th itself is also spreading in this direction. Let's actually add another one here. So yeah, so both divisions are doing this very nice and sort of east-west attack thing, and they're doing it just, you know, for fun. Not for fun, obviously. And so in the south, the technocracy has also been building up to its own offensive, where they want to get back to their holy ground of the Tower of London, and these particular squirrels have been moving towards the south east for a while, and even as they sort of appear on the front, they don't really wait, and their assault starts. Now you might ask yourself, if you're an astute viewer, not you guys know, why the technocracy isn't turning back to deal with this. Multiple reasons, many of which are too complicated for you guys, but for for our fan who actually paid for, which again I must thank you very much, who paid for me to talk about this, that is because the technocracy itself, if we actually go back and look at their history, they're very much independently minded. So when we talked about it before, we also talked about how the technocracy is much more, it values much more the independence of the individual, but also the independence of the commander while in the field. And if that sounds familiar to you, I can't imagine why, but I'm sure you're a military buff, so you'll understand. And I'm not saying that that's a bonus, right? I'm not saying that's necessarily a good thing, only that these are the characteristics of these leaders. And so, but having said that, that doesn't matter too much, because there's also, as we can see from how opaque this particular movement arrow is, there's also reinforcements coming up soon, and so we can just deal with it, or at least according to the technocratic high command, they can deal with it with the reinforcements. And so this attack should go on as planned, because the the Western Front here is still there's still maneuvering to be had down here by, you know, the lower Thames Valley, the Bywater Street Valley, and whereas everything up here is a lot more static, and the technocracy is not a fan of static warfare. They much prefer being able to maneuver, you with yeah, high speed maneuvers. And no, I'm not going to draw that reference. You can no. I'm sure any how do you say, any resemblance to real characters is entirely accidental. I think that's what they usually say. So we're gonna move that over here, because once again I'm a pretty anal engineer. So this will go here. And yeah, so this is how one day's events ended up being shaped. So I just essentially I choose a sector that I'm working on, and I start with that sector and with that side of the Civil War, and then I just work my way across all of their divisions, and then I go to the other side, and you know, I did this part after I did that, and then I work my way through every division and see where that goes. And in fact, actually, I do want to point that as the sponsor very well knows, I have introduced corp commands for the collective, and the goal there is that shall we call it ludonarrative synchronicity, because as the world itself becomes broader, the conflict itself also evolves and becomes bigger. So if we were to go back to, and the viewer is encouraged to go back to the very first report for our squirrel boys, and note how much smaller the map itself was. In fact, it was just basically this screen that we're looking at right now, with a few brigades on the technocratic side, and I think it was 3 divisions. I think the 8th actually was like here, and then 3 divisions essentially surrounding that, and everything sort of evolved from there. So as the conflict broadens, we're introducing more characters and more formations into the story to I don't even know how to say it, to epic fires. Anyway, that is it for today. Thank you very much for watching. And if we go back to yes, just want to make sure that our friend who commissioned who sponsored this particular one doesn't feel left out. We will do another one, because I don't feel like I'm doing the sponsor justice by just doing a whole bunch of undos and redos, because the mindset is different every time. And with that, thank you very much again for watching, and have a good day. Oh, we almost forgot. Yes. No, I remember before you reminded me, don't worry. Download Firefox, please. Don't do Chrome. Cool kids don't do Chrome. I don't even know if that's how it sounds like. Anyway, have a good day.